went back for another round with Supermoto USA at Sim Raceway Car Track in Sonoma, California. This weekend had some great battles, high side scares, slides, crashes and drama in both the Open Amateur and Open Expert events. But more on that later. Let's start this from the beginning. In usual fashion, I avoided heavy traffic by going to the track on Friday night. I like to start track days with a great breakfast to have a lot of energy that lasts throughout the day. After my epic meal, I like to check out the tire pressures, air compression in my front forks, and reset the zip tie on the fork leg. Later in the day, more folks had started showing up, and it was looking like it was going to be a great day of practice. Me and my buddy Lucas went out for some laps. To mix things up a bit, the organizers hit us with a track configuration that most of us had never seen before. It features some really tight corners as well as sweepers and a very short straight. At first, I really hated this configuration because I couldn't really find the rhythm and it had a left turn with a brake zone with tons of bumps. But slowing down a bit and analyzing every section, I started getting a feel for it, and then I could start to really up the pace. During the practice day, I signed up for the Vet 30 Plus class and the Open Amateur class. We had a great day of practice and ended up with a great barbecue in usual fashion. We were all excited about the races tomorrow and had some great debates on line selection and where you can pass. Tomorrow we were going to find out where we guessed right. We woke up early in the AM for a great breakfast with sausages, some delicious eggs and hash browns. At the same time they were flying hot air balloons over Napa. It was a truly beautiful morning that gave us some serious energy for the morning practice sessions. The practice sessions were short and you can tell that the folks who hadn't been there on Saturday were really slow in this unusual track configuration. You could also tell that some of them were studying my lines. Question is, am I actually running my race line or just I know you're following me to check out my line? At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter though, because in a race you have to adapt your line to the context. If you're trying to pass, catch up to someone or block another rider from passing you. I sat out the last practice session to have as much energy as possible for upcoming heat races. First up was the Vet 30 Plus heat race. Your starting position here is based on your position in the series, and where you finish in this race determines where you start in the main event. I'm currently third, so I got a nice front row position. Last round I got an epic start in this event. But this time around I managed to stall the engine right before the start and then screwed up the start. However, in this race I got some clear indication of just how much I had improved over the last month. I was now able to keep up with CJ, who is the guy in green in front of me. Only a month or so ago I wouldn't even have been close to being able to keep up with him. This inspired a lot of confidence in me for the upcoming races. I tried to pass him a couple of times but was too eager to pass. I should have been more calm and waited it out for the perfect timing. Every time I tried to pass him and failed, I ended up with a bad line which obviously slowed me down, forcing me to catch up and try again. I got back to the pits and had to look at some of the epic mini racing. Now it was time for the most important event for me, the Open Amateur Heats. I'm currently second in the series, so I had a nice front row position yet again. This time I wasn't going to screw up the start. Hell no! Focus, Michael, focus. Look at his hand holding the flag. Don't look at the flag, look at the hand.
It's gotta be against the law to look this damn good. Watch out now. 'Cause baby, I feel real good.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is called a rocket launch start. Someone must have gone to the racing commission after this and complained about me running nitrous or something. So not only did I rocket launch the start, I managed to keep first place throughout the race. When I finished, I was quite shocked that I had won by such a margin.
We're here all night like we got nothing to lose. Coming out the jacket cause we're turning up the heat. I wanna see you clapping when you get up out your seat. It's time to make it happen when we hit these streets. I'm coming in hot and I can't be beat. Watch out now.
So where do you think I finished in the main event? Well, results to come, so stick around. Now it was time for the Vet 30 Plus main event. This time around I knew that not only could I keep up with the guys in front of me, but I should be able to pass them if I just plan it correctly. Starting from 5th position is quite good, since I have the inside line going into the first turn. Actually, I kinda prefer this to starting from 4th, which forces you to strafe across the track to the inside. This time I had a great start being 4th going into the first corner. Unfortunately, I only shifted down once instead of twice, as I should have, and lost all the drive coming out of turn 1. This opened up a place for Hollywood to pass me. I knew I had the pace though, so now it was time to catch up. I spent the next lap catching up, and now it was a matter of planning the pass. My plan was to overtake him on the inside turn coming out of the main straight. Right here. In order to do this, I had to stick to his rear tire and get an epic drive coming out of the straight. I lost my cool a bit and almost high-sided trying to stick to his rear tire. Now I had to catch up even more, which made me lose my cool way too much, so I ended up low-siding behind him trying to power slide out of the corner. Both me and the bike were okay, so I was going to rush to pick it up, but realized I was close to the race line and waited it out until more riders had passed by. I didn't want to be that guy that stands in the middle of the track, picking his bike up and messing up everybody's race. My crash taught me a lesson for the next race, which is to really keep my cool, even if I can outpace the guy in front of me. Now it was time for the Open Amateur main event. My goal was to grab a podium position in this race. Alright, it's time to go. I had a great start, but number 44 Andrews had an even better one. Even if I could try to go up the inside here, I choose to go behind them to not screw up my drive going out of turn 1 and possibly lose even more positions. Now it was time to play catch up, but a smarter catch up than in my Vet 30 Plus race. I started reading his lines, seeing where I could go faster. I noticed that I could get more drive coming out of some corners with a late apex. But this kicked me in the butt when number 75 Ruley took an inside line and passed me beautifully. Now I was going to play this smart and not try too hard to catch up. I caught up slightly to Andrews in the end of the last lap and had a go in the last corner coming up to the finish line. It didn't matter. I reached my goal of getting a podium position in the race, finishing 3rd. Now it was time for the Open Expert main event. A seriously talented rider had joined in for this event, number 92 Yarrow. Watching him during the practice and heat race, you can tell that his braking and cornering skills were nothing short of spectacular. Even though he almost crashed during his celebration victory in the heats. This was sure to be a great race. Yarrow got off to a great start but lost his drive coming out of turn 1, which enabled number 32 Pierce to pass him with number 121 Mazada close behind. Yarrow was keeping really close to Pierce, who messed up one of the turns going into the weeds. Yarrow came up on his inside and fell over. He managed to scramble up and was now behind 678 McEnroe. Mid-race, he passed McEnroe. The conclusion of the race ended up with a race to the line between Pierce and Mazada, with Pierce winning the battle. Yarrow came in not long after that, clearly disappointed by his third place finish. Considering that he crashed, third place was still really good. McEnroe finished with a nice wheelie over the finish line, and not long after came Matos and Bernard. This racing weekend had some great battles and showed some real fighting spirit from a lot of racers. That's what we like to do around here, fight hard and have some fun. If you're a rider and you want to get into racing, I think you should consider Supermoto. There's nothing more fun, and it's also quite cheap in comparison with other forms of racing. Don't think too much about it, just go out and do it. Just like we do. Over and out.